So I'll just put this up here. It's a couple of bits of furniture with a 18mm width, 6 feet by 4 feet MDF sheet. I'm a bit shattered because I took the decorations down and put them away at the same time as I dragged all this furniture up here. And this my hobby room, still an absolute tip. I mean, got boxes of things all over, mostly to-do piles, mostly just bits finishing off. See, there's all those shelves are filled. I've got boxes in that cupboard there. My basin gear and everything's just down here. Computer doesn't really work. A couple of robots on the go, transformers. Not transformers, Castellans. And then a few of my books, bookshelves and whatnot. Yeah, bits of scenery as well dotted about. God, I'm pooped. And then, like I say, I've got loads of rubbish on it. I need to take to the skip really, because it's all just empty boxes, old shoe boxes and what have you. But I don't think it's going to stop me whacking a bit of paint on this and a bit of flock. I know, like the professionals and that, they put, like, you know, brown, like dirt kind of texture down, and then they put grass here and there and it looks a bee's knees. But all I'm going to do, I've got like a pale green limerick, it's called, from from B&Q. I'm going to whack that down, pale green like I say, and then just completely cover it as flat can be, just in flock. And I'll show you this kind of shit here. Yeah, blended turf from, is it Woodland Scenics? Woodland Scenics blended turf. And I have bags and bags of this shit. I've been collecting it all last year. Must have about 20 bags, which should do this board without a doubt. And keep me going with base and materials. Yeah. And I've got another board like this. It's still downstairs, because they're, like I say, a pain in the ass to carry upstairs. So yeah, I'll probably do another little video after I've painted it and after I've flocked it, and I'll put all these together for YouTube. Ciao for now. So it's been flocked. The paint was dry this morning. I didn't notice any little patches of dry paint, and then rather than spray watered down PVA, I just poured a few globs here and there, and then kind of, well, I used a paint roller to roll it out. You can see I've missed a couple of little patches, and around the edge isn't the greatest, but I'll leave this to dry. I'll patch up the edges maybe later tonight, and then tomorrow it should all be dry, and then I will give it a watered down spray of PVA just to lock it a bit tight. And then I've got some beading to go along the edges as well, which is, I think it's 22mm the beading, so it's raised up from the edge kind of thing. So I don't know whether to do the edges then and the patchwork, or like I say, do it beforehand. I don't know. But yeah, looks alright. Like I say, I just threw the flock on and moved it around by hand at first, but I was leaving like finger trails all over the place, which you can still kind of see here and there. And then I got just a sheet of A4 paper and like dragged it over the top a few times to flatten them out. And I mean, it's not totally flat, obviously. I don't think it ever was going to be. You do get clumps here and there, and down the centre of the board, because I did like the left hand side and then the right hand side, and down the centre I had to cross over a little bit. So down the centre of the board I kind of had to roller onto the flock I put down, and I might have missed a few spots. But for the first little bit, yeah, I'll be as lowy. I was going to get some miniatures and like put them on the base just to see what they look like, some terrain and that. But I don't think I've got. I don't want to make any more marks in it really. So like I say, it's all wettened with watered down PVA, and it'll be more solid and more playable. So yeah, tickety boo, loving it. So I've given the old spray. Now you can see there's a couple of weird patches. There were actually patches where I must have missed with a PVA, or there just wasn't enough PVA on the roller, or maybe it dried too quickly and the flock didn't stick to it. Now what I should have done really was try and tip this on its side and knock off the excess flock, or hoovered it off completely. But I didn't do either of those. I sprayed over it, and when I was spraying it was kind of blowing part of the loose flock off the top. It kind of accumulated here, but because it was then wet, because I'd sprayed it, it was a bit clumpy. So there was a couple of big gaps here of just bare board, so I kind of pushed it into those spaces. There's still little odd bits here and there that I'll touch up. Same along the edge. There was a big bit down here that I've put some fresh flock on, and again it was wet when I put it on, so that's why it looks like that. And I know I wanted a perfect flat board, which I think if I'd knocked the excess off and then re-gone over the areas I'd missed with the first layer of flock and then sprayed it, I think it would have been spot on for that. But you know what? I found some lighter flock, light green, and I've kind of dotted it about that you can see. And because these will dry to little tufts, I suppose, I don't think it's the end of the world really that it looks like this. I think it looks all right. You know, for just a straight up bare flocked board, it has a little bit of character to it now. Not what I intended, obviously. Technically it's a fail, I suppose, but yeah, it doesn't look too bad, I don't think. Yeah. As ever with my hobbying, it'll do me. Ciao for now. So, I'd say the board is done. Just got a few bits and pieces out just to see how it blends in, kind of thing. I might paint the edge of that, like the rim, green, so it matches a bit more. Those are the same flock, so that is like bone dry, and this is 99% dry. I'd say it's sticking properly. Dealt with a couple of patches that, well, it looked quite bad actually when I've got the camera on that there. I'll go back over that, but yeah, it's gameable, cheap, very cheap. Yeah, some Japanese getting in on it. See what they look like. And yeah, 6x4 board. The board cost 40 quid. The furniture I managed to get free off my parents. They've redecorated. Well, actually, they moved house and then they moved back into the old house. And I managed to get the, like I said, little cabinet kind of dealies. Like these. I think you get them from B&M quite cheap. Or just get something, you know, people are throwing stuff away for free on Facebook. So you could just get a couple of bits like that and put the board on top. I've obviously kept it loose because I've got another board this size, and I'm going to use that as like an urban rubble ruined city kind of board, mainly for the 40k pulleys, because that's the basin I've kind of got for them. Although that said, my massive orc army is this. It's grass on the grass flocked bases. Yeah, the train cannot reach without breaking the table. Nice little barn there, again same flocking, but you can see it's a bit lighter because plain green. roof comes off of that. Plain inside though. I think it was a Perry's kit, I think that was. And this is Battlefield in a box, and I've obviously spruced it up with little bits. Same with that. Just has a bit of flavour to them. Yeah, I'm already tempted to, sort something out and get a game on. Just don't know what. That's going to be my my problem from now on, is deciding what to play, as opposed to before where it was I don't have a board, so I can't really play. But I had a game of mat. I used to put that on the floor, keep the dog away, obviously. A couple of games with niece and nephew, well, nephews mainly. But yeah, I'm loving this. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Still got the banding to put on the sides, along the sides. Still a little bit of edges here and there when you look closely. But once the boards are on the side, it's a bright white plastic. And I'll just keep it that way. I can't be asked painting it black or anything like that. So that should kind of hide little bits, you know what I mean. It'll protect the edges of the board so they don't chip as well. But yeah, I might get my Russians out and Russians against Japanese, Kalkin Gol or something like that. Yeah, tempted. But yeah, that's how I've built this very cheap board. I don't even know how much these packs of grass cost. The PVA was the cheapest I got in I think it was in the Works or some kind of craft shop, and I've paid £8 a bag. I've probably used 4 bags of this on the table. So there's like 32 quid plus the 40 for the board, 72 quid. PVA glue, what should we say, a £5, if that. So yeah, nice little board, all for under 80 quid. Can't go wrong with that, can you? You know, I know people who charge hundreds just for a 6x4 board. Lovely. Sort out the light for this room. So this is table full setup. I do have some little hills. For the life of me, I can't find them. They're not that big. They're not like huge staggered hills, like, you know, like the old style Games Workshops, little miniatures ones. They're more like the low ones that I think came off the old War Master game. So yeah, little village thing going on here. Maybe it's a farm. There's a forge in the middle there. A few buildings around. Barn just there. Another building here with a garden out the back. Bit of forest. A couple of walled in closes, they would have been called. Church over there. Ruined manor house in the background. I'm going to get some more of that kind of terrain. The Battlefield in a box stuff, because it was nice to put together. Quite heavy. It's like a ceramic, not ceramic, like a plaster kind of material. So it is quite heavy. Glued together well. I think I used some kind of Gorilla Glue anyway. Little church, I've had that a while. See many bolt action day out. Road going through the middle. I do have plenty of other bits of road. A lot of this scenery is conflicts, Conflix, that I bought from a shop close to me. That's a Perry's kit. I've got a Perry's farmhouse built, and it's based on a sheet of plastic, just like that is, but I haven't painted any of it yet. And I'm not sure where that building came from. The one with the chimneys, which, you know, everything else could be done for medieval, really. You know, I could play line rampant on this. Maybe take that building out, it looks more Tudorish. And that building with chimneys. Because up until the Tudor period, kitchens were always outside a building, detached. Even in castles and stuff like that, the kitchens were always detached. And then they started building fireplaces and chimneys. There's the dog growling. Yeah, room's a bit of a mess. I got my York and Space Marine Army out. I know it's not the right setting, but might have a little knockabout. And I've put that, yeah, I've put that barn right over the path, that dodgy patch. Which now I've got the lights working in this room, I might be able to work it out better. But you can see there's different variations in the colour of the grass. Like I said, I did it all with the blended grass, and then there was some light green that kind of just dotted about in patches, and I think it works well. There's little variations in the there's little clumps here and there where I've had to go over rebits and stuff, but it all looks okay. I have played on much worse than this, believe me. By the way, if any of this terrain looks familiar to you and you used to own it, like especially some of these walls, like those two bits of wall at the front of the church there, I'm pretty sure they're not mine. The big stuff's definitely mine, the trees are definitely mine. But yeah, some of these wall bits, remember the day when I used to go to Asgard and I kept some terrain there, and yeah, it got pilfered big style. And one day the owner just got in touch and said, oh, you've got a box here, you're going to come pick it up, kind of thing, because we're having a declutter. So, yeah, fair enough. So I just grabbed the box and ran, kind of thing. And when I got home, I noticed how much had gone missing, including like big buildings, the what are they, Charlie Foxtrot buildings or something like that. The MDF bills. But I got two extra little bits of wall, and maybe some other bits of wall as well that I can't quite remember. Yeah. Never leave your stuff at the club, even if sad to say. Some of the detail outside that barn. Little chicken coop, veggie patch. Yeah, these conflicts buildings, they're solid, the roofs don't come off, which I wish they did come off, because I like putting like units in buildings, especially bolt action. But as you can see, I haven't even painted the inside of that building, and that's just the ground surface underneath. And for the barn, yeah, I haven't painted it at all. Came with its own base, but I stuck it to these white boards that I got from Windsock Models in Bishop. Yeah, loving it, loving it. I'm gonna have some tea now, and then I don't know what I'm gonna do. Spoil for choice. Flying rampant, Normans against Vikings, or Danes, I should say, or Space Marines versus Orcs. Decisions.